to superintendent and administrative comments. Dr. Cohen's not with us tonight, so Dr. Fitzpatrick is going to fill in. It's all yours.
Thanks, I'm delighted to fill in. We're, as you said, getting ready for the start of the school year, and we were just talking before you arrived about how excited everyone, it feels like a different buzz right now. What I'd like to be able to do is share some of our back to school preparations with you all. Just this past week, our school started to communicate with families and with staff regarding back to school preparations. And between this meeting and the next, we'll highlight some of the transition events that will be taking place. And I'll kind of run through some of them school by school to get a sense of some of what's happening across the district already. So at Memorial, first off, we have a Memorial Story Time, which has been happening every Wednesday at the new Upton Town Library. Children can participate in the story time with a Memorial staff member. That's happening each Wednesday. They are getting ready for a popsicle social. That is where all Memorial families are invited to the social on August 23rd at the playground at the new community center. And we're going to try to spread out the number of kids so that they're all not there at one time. So they're suggesting that pre-K through 1 come from 5 to 6 and grades 2 through 4 come from 6 to 7, if that's possible for families. And then they've also organized their annual kindergarten play date, where all kindergarten families are invited to join the annual kindergarten play date. And that's going to be this year on Saturday, August 26th at 10 a.m. at Memorial. And the last event I'll tell you about for Memorial is Memorial has a new parent orientation that's happening. And so if your family is new to the Memorial community, on Thursday, August 24th at 6:30 in the cafeteria for an introduction to the school. So now I'll go on to Clough and share some Clough events. Clough before and after care has moved actually from where the program was initially or has been formerly at MISCO. It's moved to Clough, and so they are getting ready. They've made that move and they're getting ready to welcome students. Read alouds also are happening at the Taft Library, so similar to Memorial's program. Thanks to families who have stopped by Taft Library on Wednesdays or Thursday afternoons. That's been staffed by staff. Popsicles on the playground are happening. We've got a popsicle theme going. So the PTO is sponsoring an event to help them reconnect before school starts. And so they're inviting all Clough folks to join them on the back field and back playground at Clough on Tuesday, August 22nd. Pre-K, K, and first graders are invited to come from 5 to 6, and second, third, and fourth graders are invited to come from 6 to 7. And then they also have an event welcoming new families. New families who have first through fourth graders are invited to attend a new family orientation on Thursday, August 24th at 3 o'clock. And the kindergarten meet and greet is scheduled also at Clough. So incoming kindergartners and their families can come and meet and greet each other and the staff on August 24th from 5:30 to 6:30. Now we'll head to Misco Hill. Misco Hill has a planned sports information night that will take place on Monday, August 21st at 7 o'clock at the Nipmuc Auditorium. And they'll also be conducting new student tours for students in grades 6 through 8 that will take place on Thursday, August 24th at 5:30 p.m. And they're hosting a 5th grade popsicle social that will take place on Thursday, August 24th at 6:30 p.m. And we'll now shift to Nipmuc. And Nipmuc is really excited because they've planned their freshman and new student orientation for Thursday, August 24th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. So that's a lot of events for just a couple weeks from now. At the orientation, students will have the opportunity to walk the halls of Nipmuc and familiarize themselves with their schedules for the first day of school. and students will also participate in the orientation, while parents will be able to take part in their own orientation session simultaneously. So lots of things going on in the schools in the next couple of weeks. Now I'm going to highlight a little bit about what's happening in our summer program. That's summer programs that have been going on. The MERS Summer Enrichment Program has been in full swing now this is the first day of its 4th week. And it's been a fabulous success this year that's really built in many ways on the important successes from the program in previous years. This year, the program has been led by Amanda Farley and Evan Hansen, both CLEP educators. And they have worked to organize a program that has served 40 to 60 students each week. And in the program that is free, organized in a half-day structure with theme-based, community-enhanced programming. The themes up to this week have been animals, nature, and Olympics. What happens is the program kind of converges around the theme, and students meet in grade level classes, and then they also participate in whole program activities each morning, and then on Thursdays they highlight for that as well. So last Thursday, for example, they held an all-program Olympics. This year, the Summer Enrichment Program and ESY has actually been able to collaborate much more closely. And that was the original intent of the programming. And if you recall, we ended up not learning that we got the funding until very late in the year, but we've been able to capitalize on the fact that we knew the funding was coming. The programs are collaborating well, and they're both actually being housed at MISCO, which creates this way of the programming kind of weaving together and the students being able to be in the same space.
What's ESY?
The extended learning program that's run through the special ed program. So Amanda and Evan also actually expanded the program for both programs by connecting with the after-school all-sports program to be able to effectively partner with them so that families who needed care or needed supervision for their students beyond the half-day program could connect with that program and end up having a full day. So it's really cool, the collaboration that's been going on between the two programs. They're also thrilled because they were able to expand on the student leadership arm of the program and bring in even more student leaders this year with the funding that they had. So when I kind of walk around classrooms, they have high school students working with their younger neighbors in just about every class. In the midst of the fun, the students are working on their math skills. They're also working on doing things like researching and writing about the themes. For example, last week I walked in and they were writing about the mascots that they have for the Olympics. And we feel like the program has been really positive and successful, just walking around, talking to the students. They've got many repeat families who are coming back and signing up for extra weeks. And the staff seem really positive. We're going to invite Amanda and Evan to give a little presentation at the beginning of the school year about it, but I just wanted to give you some highlights. So another good news thing to highlight is we have a teacher at the high school, Bonnie Nieves, who was interviewed on Chronicle recently about teachers' perspectives of AI. And it was awesome, the piece. And so we were able to link the piece if you haven't seen it already in the notes. And I really highly encourage you to take a look. So the last updates from me are focused.
Sorry, is that on our website, social media, and we broadcast that out through the people channels?
Yeah, how did I catch it? I think I caught it on email. So I'm not sure if we've gotten it on social media and stuff like that yet, but I know we will if we haven't. It was really kind of a piece that was confronting some of the fear that education has in terms of confronting this. And Bonnie just has a really solid background in this, and she's really woven it into her core class in a way that embraces this new technology. So they just reached out to her, having heard of her and from her, basically through social media, I believe it or not. So it's really nice. Anything else on that one? All right, so let me update you a little bit on the grants then. We've got a few grants that we have to update you on. First one is an extension of our evidence-based practices grant. We received notice at the end of June, I believe, that we have received an additional $150,000 for FY24 for the continuation of that grant. So we're using that funding, focusing specifically on our efforts to continue to provide professional development and coaching and build our instructional practice model to support co-teaching and inclusive practices throughout the district. So we also got word that we were accepted into the Applied Leadership Institute. And this is new for us, so I'll share some details about this exciting opportunity. Nipmuc Regional High School has been accepted to the 1-8 Foundation Applied Learning Leadership Institute. We've been awarded $10,200 in grant funding to help offset the costs associated with institute travel and pilot implementation. And the institute will allow cohorts of school leadership teams to collaborate on expanding high-quality applied learning opportunities for their students and shifting the cognitive demands to students through a series of facilitated sessions and visits to other schools, showing strong applied learning practices. The teams, led by the principal, will identify a local problem of practice, work through cycles of designing, piloting, and iterating on a set of strategies that respond to the problem and analyze student impact data. In addition, teams will participate in 2 school visits designed to spur creativity and new thinking. And this fits very squarely in with the new strategic plan and that first priority that's focused on deeper learning. So we're really thrilled about this opportunity, and I'm going off script a little, but it really matches closely to some of the opportunities that we've had at the middle school, for example, where the middle school a couple of years ago was accepted into the PBL School Leadership Network. So this makes that a nice opportunity for the high school. The 1-8 education team identifies, supports, and scales high-impact programs and approaches that help schools and teachers prepare students for success in a rapidly changing, data-rich world. 1-8 imagines a future where high-quality applied learning opportunities oriented around STEM and 21st century skills that make learning relevant, stimulating, and rewarding are a regular part of the student experience in driving impact for all students. There's a link to the 1-8 Foundation there. And just so that you know, they're involved, as I said, 1-8 in supporting us through PBL, project-based learning, through Project Lead the Way, and also they're connected to STMath, which is the next thing that I'll update you with, that we have received a grant to expand STMath programming to the 5th grade at Misto Hill this year. So that will be a nice transition for the 4th graders that really enjoy that platform and working on the problems there. They'll be able to continue that as they transition to the middle school. All right. And so the last announcement or update that I have for you all is about the school choice openings. We just like to give a brief update on which grade levels still have school choice openings. So I'll run through school by school just to update you by grade and school. So at Clough, we have 4 kindergarten openings, 0 kindergarten Spanish immersion openings, 4 grade 1 openings, 0 grade 2 openings, 3 grade 3 openings, and 9 grade 4 openings. At Memorial, K through 4, we have 0 openings. At Misto, in grade 5, we have 0 openings. In grade 6, we have 0 openings. In grade 7, we have 22 openings. And in grade 8, we have 17 openings. And at Nipmuc, we have 4 openings at grade 9 and 0 at grade 10, 11, or 12.
Are we still getting applications into Memorial, even though we're at 0?
I am not sure of the flow of applications at this point yet. So I don't know but we are receiving applications out of the schools and they're
Yeah.
still open. I just don't know
Yeah.
if we've gotten any of the schools.
Are families notified if they try to choice into Memorial that there are openings and you can kind of apply?
That's a good question, actually. I would imagine they are.
Yeah.
Because they're coming to our school district in general and
Right.
they don't live in,
Correct, so I would hope that, yeah, there's interactions.
Great, thank you.
Sure. So at this point then, I'll invite Jay up and Jay will give us some updates on the budget.
What, budget first?
No, facilities first.
Oh, facilities first, okay. So we've been a little busy here this summer, kind of a lot of things going on. Sam's gonna put something up that shows you a few pictures, but I'll start to talk about that. So we had a few projects that we wanted to try to accomplish this summer. The 2 biggest ones were works on the parking lots and the gym floor here at Denmark. Hopefully when you came in, you had an opportunity to look in the gym. The floor came out phenomenal. The same company that did this last summer did a really nice job, it's already finished. We've kept people off of it for months, so I think it's good to go. The second project that we worked on, why don't we flip ahead, Sam, since you got this up here. So I put a couple pictures there, but you have to walk in the gym and look at it, it just looks really great. The other thing we've done at Misco Hill is we had some money in the ESSER grant to do carpets, and we carpeted 10 rooms, mostly 5th grade rooms. That was the request we got at the end of the year last year. That work was done, finished about 2 weeks ago. This kind of carpet we put in here is called carpet tiles, so the advantage to that is if something does spill in one spot, you can just take up the one little square instead of the whole carpet. So that was accomplished through ESSER 2 funding, I believe. That was done. The other thing we did, I guess I don't even have these in the order I'm talking. The water treatment system at Clough. It is up and running, it's been approved. That's the various little components. It's got a new control board. The tanks you see are to treat the PFAS 6. DEP has approved everything, so we're good to go there. We also received a grant for $33,000 to help pay for most of this. That money just came into our account about a week ago. So that will offset that one. At Misco Hill, we had some correspondence today. That's sort of a view of the boiler room. If you've never been in the boiler room at Misco, the water treatment are those tanks way in the back, and then there's 2 gigantic tanks in between the boilers. There's other stuff off to the right. That system has been approved, but we're not allowed to use the water yet. We're still waiting for a couple other things to go through that they're still looking at. As far, the email today I got had to do with check valves and some other tests that they still want us to do. It may have been done, but they didn't have the material at DEP. What I'm experiencing with the DEP is that they're pretty swamped. So you might submit something and wait a month for them to get back to you on it. We received a grant for this project as well, $50,000. That was the maximum they would give us, even though the whole project is gonna cost around $110,000. That money we haven't submitted for yet. We get to do it when it's all done. It's due by the end of September. So that's the other thing that's been going on at Misco. The parking lots, hopefully you noticed how nice they look here. We did some seal coating here that we did not do at the other 3 schools, only due to cost. This was the parking lot that was really in the worst shape. But all the rest of the parking lots, we did what's called crack sealing, which you get cracks in the pavement. We've done it in the past. We did it again. We restriped all the parking lots so that you can see the parking spaces. That was really a challenge in this building. So that project was completed about 3 weeks ago. That was a fairly big endeavor as well. And then as far as other stuff we've been working on, They've been painting in all the schools, classrooms, hallways, banisters, everywhere. I know at Memorial alone, they moved 15 classrooms, teachers going to different spaces based on how they wanted the building to be laid out. They've been working on the exterior at all the buildings to clean up the exterior grounds. As Cheryl mentioned, we moved the before and after school program from Misco to Clough. So we had to do a lot of setup there. We also did some work at Memorial because they're kind of getting relocated within the building based on where everything is structured. It's also going to allow us to expand the Little Learners Daycare Center into the space that the before and after school program was using. I believe they're looking to take another 15 or 20 kids, not infants, but at a little older age. So that will help us there. Again, routine maintenance we do every year. They shampoo all the carpets, they wax all the floors. The buildings all, I think, are pretty well done at this point. There might be a few things left. Misco was the biggest challenge because everything that was happening this summer was also happening at Misco, so they had to work around that. And then we've had a myriad of plumbing and electrical repairs we've been doing all summer. Outlets that don't work, lights that don't work, faucets that are broken. I know the faucets in the showers down here were broken. We repaired those. So there's just a myriad of stuff that we've been working on all summer. I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of things that have happened. I didn't get a chance. Ken was away last week, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him this morning. And you have a question, Vicki, or you just making faces? You were looking at me like, but. So that's basically what we've been working on all summer on the facilities. Like I said, if you walk in the buildings, I think they all look really, really good. Funny thing is, the floors always look super shiny at the end of the summer, and then a week later, once you get back, all the things
All
are
the
off.
shine's gone.
Any questions on any of that facility stuff?
That is the solution for the PFAS.
These treatment systems? Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
So is there any resolution on how we're gonna get rid of the waste from that?
No, they haven't come up with that yet, and I'm now hearing that they're not even sure how often we have to exchange the medium. So it may be, originally I was thinking that it was gonna be like, several times a year. It may not be more than once or twice a year if that, but that solution has not come up either from DEP. So that's still out there. And they've lowered the limits on what you can have for PFAS in the water. It's like to a point now where it's almost not detectable when you test it. It makes it pretty difficult to treat. This removes it completely. Right. It gets it down to zero. Okay. That's the goal. If any of you live on wells, I know that DEP has a program where you can get your well tested for free for PFAS, and they'll give you a whole report on the water treatment. On basically the quality of the water. I did it like a year ago. I think just about everybody has it. I didn't have any in mine. I was lucky, but I think most people are going to find that they're going to have some levels of it.
I only live a few hundred yards away from this group, so.
Right.
You said the Misco water treatment system is approved, but it's not ready.
So they have not given us permission to let people start drinking the water yet. That's probably going to happen within the next week or two. What's that?
What was approved?
And what was approved was the design, the installation. They come back. They have been, DEP comes like constantly. We should just get a little office here because they're busy. So the system, you submit a design, they approve the design, you put this equipment in, they come back and inspect that. They look at everything else related to the water system. So we're still in the process of getting a complete approval to turn the water on. I'm hoping it's going to happen soon. And then the next real project I really think we need to look at is replacing all of the water bubblers throughout the entire district with bottle filling stations. So that we can start, I think that's the move toward the future. The other thing I should update you on is, if you remember, we applied for a grant for a card access system to get into, to change for all the buildings. We did not get that grant. So unfortunately, we're still sort of in limbo on that. All right, on to the budget. Don't have any fancy pictures for you on that. The House and Senate Ways and Means have approved the budget and submitted it to the governor. It is sitting for the governor to sign. I expect that that's going to happen sometime this week. She has 10 days to do it. I want to say she got it last Tuesday or Wednesday, but we haven't heard anything yet. the new budget, and I gave you, there is a spreadsheet I think you were linked to that shows it should, for us, we should realize about another $360,000, assuming everything holds the way it is. I saw something today that said transportation was being reimbursed at 100%. That's not what we were told last week. It was only 90%. Maybe that means a little bit more money, but we don't know that for sure. Until we get a final budget signed off by the governor, we don't really do anything. We kind of wait for that.
Any negatives though?
No, the charter stuff sometimes fluctuates up and down, but that's going to change during the year anyway. That's the one thing I've learned over the last couple of years is the cherry sheet could say you're going to get 140,000 charter reimbursement, and at the end you only get 70. But then the tuition usually is offset as well. So we're still waiting on that, but it's a good sign, I think, that the budget is going the way it's going. I mean, I'm fairly positive about that. I'm working pretty hard on trying to close out 23. I'm trying to see if I can get E&D filed for next week, which would be early for us. But I want to try to get it in ahead. FY23 looks pretty good right now, but I'm still doing a bunch of entries to try and close things out. So that hopefully will be done by the end of this week.
Excellent.
Anything else exciting?
I don't think so. Sounds like you had an exciting summer, good stuff done.
It's been a very busy summer. I can tell you, we've been running in circles.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see, I know you mentioned about the bottle filling stations, we're all so into whatever the hydration, the kids, they're all carrying one around and stuff like that. I know we ran out of water at times and the portable ones. It'd be cool to see if that's something, if there are extra dollars in the budget, if you can accelerate.
Well, so we've looked at that in the past, and it was around $100,000 to do the whole district. They're about, the price has probably gone up because this is pre-pandemic.
It actually doesn't feel that bad. I was thinking it was 100,000 in school.
There's like 30 or 40 in the district, I think. You know, so if you figure, and at the time they were around 4,000 or 5,000 a piece. Like I said, I'm expecting that the price has gone up.
Sure.
I can also give you an update on the van we're trying to purchase. You guys know we've been working on that.
18 months later.
Well, so last week I decided to reach out to other dealers, business managers. Everybody's having the same problem. One place I talked to told me he has 305 vans waiting that haven't been produced yet, that they're still waiting for. Another company sent me a quote that was only $40,000 more expensive than the one that we're already signed on for. So we're still in limbo with that. I'm trying to see if we can find something somewhere.
So where's the holdup? Is it?
I was told that the dealers have a shortage of chips in order to manufacture, that basically run the thing, and that just, they stopped producing them. So the ones we were looking at were made by Ford, and the Ford list, it just has all these things that are like in order but not even in production. Started looking at Chevys. There's other companies that actually make them off the body. It's just how much do we spend? I mean, the price we had was around $52,000 for one. The last quote I got was $90 for another dealer. So it would be hard pressed to spend $90.
And do we have 2 on order right now?
Well, we have one on order for sure and one pending.
Yeah.
But again, since none of them are being produced, it really doesn't matter. The goal was to try, once we saw the price, we had budgeted 80 in the ESSER grant. Yeah. Once I saw that we could get them in the 50 range, we were thinking maybe we could get the 2. Sure. We'll get it got.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Jen? All right,
Thank you.
sounds good.
So we just have a few more things that require your vote. And so the first thing that we have is an out-of-state field trip approval for Nature's Classroom. So we're gonna invite Lauren and Robin up to talk about that field trip. And on behalf of Maureen, as you're going up, yeah, go ahead. On behalf of Maureen, I just want to thank you, Lauren, for your work on this, coordinating the Nature's Classroom trip. You've done an amazing job of organizing everything to accommodate everyone. And so we'd love to hear what you're proposing and then.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me and giving me time. I'm Lauren LaJoy, and I teach 5th grade, but I'm also the Nature's Classroom coordinator. And the best thing about Nature's Classroom is it's a great experience for the 5th graders. It's their year that they're coming together from Cleffer Memorial. And last year was even probably one of the best years I've gone probably for 15 years because we found a location in Iveryton, Connecticut, that will house all of us. So we kind of took a risk to try a new location because Nature's Classroom has, I think, several locations, over 20. And we went out of state. It was a little bit longer of a ride, but we had staff and the entire 5th grade there. And we know the kids play on the field together, but really welcoming them to 5th grade and all of us being in one location was fantastic. So it's about an hour and 40 minutes away. Our plan is to go same as we have in the past. It's 2 nights, 3 days. So we leave on Monday, October 23rd, and we come back on Wednesday, October 25th. As with everything, everything's gone up in price, unfortunately, due to staffing and all that. But our PTO and in the past, everyone's been so supportive to make sure as many kids can go that want to go. Last year, we were very successful. I think we only had, it was under 20 kids that didn't go. Everyone else went. And no one had regrets when we got back. So that was great. In that it's a little further, we don't have the day option. We do share with parents if, on the down low, we share with them local hotels. If you want to stay in a local hotel, we always exchange any staff, that's comfortable with it. We exchange cell phone numbers to make families feel more comfortable because cell phones are not allowed to go with children, and that's different right now. They're part of them now. So to make everyone feel comfortable and not have that be the barrier for children not going, we exchange phone numbers and such. It's an unbelievable program, for not only educational purposes, but environment and social emotional learning, and kind of that independence of you're in middle school now and what great opportunity you have to venture out to. Do you have any questions for me?
Where's the location?
It's Ivoryton, Connecticut. It's right near the coast. It's about it's under 2 hours. And we did get coach buses because then the luggage can be stored underneath. And then it was a longer trip.
Because this used to be September, correct, when it was in the other location?
A
little earlier?
Typically it was October.
It was October.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so not a big change last year from like the time of year.
No, and we do like October because the kids, being a 5th grade teacher, it gives the kids about a month and a half to feel comfortable and maybe develop a new friendship, especially if they're new to the district.
So it looks like the anticipated cost is $375 per student, so that you have that. Lauren has provided information in terms of linking the informational letter that will go to parents, so you have that, and there's a field trip request form there. And we are recommending approval of Nature's Classroom, which requires a motion and a vote.
All right. Motion to approve the field trip.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thanks.
So last 2 business items that also require a vote. First is the elementary school lease agreement. All last school year, we worked closely with the attorneys and attorneys from the towns to update and renew the lease agreements. And the district leases the buildings of Memorial Elementary School from the town of Upton and Clough Elementary School from Mendon. And this is our 20-year renewal with the towns. So we brought forth the Clough Elementary School lease in June, and now we have the final lease agreement with the town of Upton for Memorial Elementary School for your review and approval tonight.
It looks good.
I mean, is it the same one that we approved 20 years ago?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but it looks like it's a good
I went through
20-year
it real
deal.
quick, it looks like it's on par with what we approved from that. Okay, so.
And so this too requires a motion and a vote.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous, and I will sign.
Fantastic.
Is there one? These are new too?
The fluff one already happened.
You did
Already did it. Check.
Already signed.
See, you're ahead of yourself, Sean.
Yes.
All right, and the last thing on the agenda tonight is, not quite last. Last for new business is school committee town clerk, which requires a vote. Alyssa Cass, who you know, who is actually, taking notes for this meeting as well. She was selected as the school committee clerk for the last year, and she's interested in staying in the role.
Good.
This is one of the positions that the school committee is required to vote on. So we're looking for a motion and a vote to approve her continuation in the role.
Move to approve Alyssa Cass, new as school committee clerk for the school year.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Yes, that's good.
And then the last thing I'm gonna, and for me anyways, before you close up the meeting, is the school committee subcommittees. We have the following outline of assignments to the subcommittees for the upcoming year. And we'll be setting schedules, which you'll get by September for each of the subcommittees. So you'll have those dates. And if you have any days or evenings or times that you're not available for the subcommittee work, just please let Maureen or Lauren Santandro know, so that we can organize the schedules accordingly. So for budget, we've got Eric, Jim, and Sean. For policy, we've got Matt, Carrie, and Vicky. For negotiations, we've got Eric, Vicky, Sean, with Carrie as an alternate. For the superintendent evaluation committee, there's Matt, Carrie, and Vicky. For capital planning, we've got Eric, Jim, and Matt. And for the Golden Apple, everyone's a part of that one.
Good, cool.
Excellent. All right, good. Thank you very much. Appreciate you filling in. Good job. Good. All right. I don't think there's any other matters not anticipated by the committee within 48 hours of this supposed meeting. That's any topics that popped up. All right. We don't have any correspondence at this time. So a couple items for the future agendas. We've got the recertification of the budget. We've got the district action plans. We've got to review the student handbook. And so if there's nothing else, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:41. Set a record.